Level 85, Storm Clouds Brewing. The Leminzen delegate would entreat your aid in dealing with a grave threat back home. Oh, Zilly, on behalf of Admiral Bluffswin, I thank you for your many deeds in service to Limza Lemenza. On behalf of my people, I thank you for your efforts in delivering this star from catastrophe. Unfortunately, we have received troubling tidings that beasts akin to those that plagued Rajatan have been sighted on the Lanashan coast. The Admiral has mustered the Maelstrom in hopes of quelling the threat, yet there is much we do not understand about our foe, and as such, your expertise in this arena would be a great boon to us. Will you help us? I will do all that I can. Wouldn't be much of a hero if I refused, would I? Excellent. The Admiral will be heartened to have your knowledge and martial prowess on our side, I am certain. Great. Set sail for Limza as soon as you are able. The Secretariat at Maelstrom's command will apprise you of the details upon your arrival. Right. Peaceway. Yep, second floor. We can still go this way. Run. Ah, our man in Razatan told us to expect you. I'll inform the Admiral of your arrival. Glad you could join us. Only wish it were under better circumstances. Grave news from the bounty has not escaped our ears. I can scarce begin to imagine the horrors you have witnessed there. Although you and the Scions have averted the final days, blasphemies continue to appear in certain regions, Vilbrand among them. Tell her what we know. First report came a few days ago from one of our men patrolling Skull Valley. He spoke of a fearsome creature unlike any native to our shores. While we had our suspicions, it was only later that a connection to the final days was confirmed by a most unlikely source, the Sahagin. We've been treating their tempered for some time now, and many have made a full recovery. Owing to this, some factions are eager to improve diplomatic relations with Limza. It is one such faction that has provided the most comprehensive reports in all their alarming detail. Speak of a most dreadful sight, their spawn brothers transforming into horrific beasts before their very eyes. Indeed, it is far too similar to the incidents in Rajatan to be mere coincidence. If our assumptions are correct, the first and most formidable of the beasts, a blasphemy as it was decided we would call them, prowls our waters as we speak. We may have been spared the final days, but so long as this abomination remains to harry us, we cannot truly say the storm is past. Fortunately, there have been no sightings of the blasphemy within the city. Nevertheless, we are to spare our people the horror that befell Rajatan. The fiend must be dealt with, and quickly. Despite our investigative efforts, we remain very much in the dark as to the precise nature of the threat we face. Were we to recklessly dispatch large numbers of troops, we'd run the risk of having our own men corrupted. You can well imagine the carnage that would ensue. As such, Admiral Blovsowin has decided to keep those involved to a minimum and lead the investigation herself. And I would have you at my side. What say you? Give my thanks. We will depart at once to meet with our Sahagin allies and gather what knowledge we can, that we might devise a proper plan of attack. They are due to arrive at South Tide Gate soon. I'll go on ahead and wait for you there. Like Ailport. It's well past our agreed upon meeting time, but the Sahagin are nowhere to be seen. They did not seem the sorts to break their word. This bodes ill. Let us leave this place to the guards and search Halfstone for any sign of them. What is this thing? Ola's in danger. Quickly, to his aid. But I'd have to fight that thing. Anything, Shorewalker. Pray tell, is my companion safe? The Admiral herself comes to our aid. Glad tidings indeed. You too have my boundless gratitude for saving my life. Let us quit this place before those beasts return. Everyone's still alive. Good. But not if we stay out here too long. Inside, quickly. Thank you, my friends. Those ghastly beasts would have made short work of us had you not intervened. And yet it brought me no joy to watch them die, for unbelievable as it may sound, until a short time ago they were none other than our very own spawn brothers. At first we thought them merely cursed, but our talismans and magics availed us not. Aye, 'twas no curse, 'twas an evil like no other. Innocent souls transform against their will into unholy beasts called blasphemies. Blasphemies, pray tell us more. That would be your area of expertise. Turned into beasts by the power of despair? This is horrifying indeed. Thus far, the phenomenon here in Lenosha has been limited to the Sahagin. Why is that? I cannot say, yet I wonder if the crushing tide are involved in some way. I know naught of this crushing tide. Word of them has yet to reach you, I see. All began when the Indigo Matriarch, the queen of our kind, was stricken with a grave malady. Tragic as this was, there was one small solace. She was not fond of shore walkers, and so deprived of her leadership, more of my kind came to see the wisdom in making peace with Limzilla Menza. There remain, of course, those who would oppose our cause. They formed a group they called the Crushing Tide. Even now they seek to summon the Lord of the World anew and consign all finless ones into the briny deep. However, they lack the crystals necessary to do so. Denied the power they crave, they can do naught but gnash their teeth in desperation. You suspect these feelings of helplessness are the cause of their transformations? Just so, those of our spawn brothers who turned into those beasts had been fraternizing with the Crushing Tide. Despite our differences, we cannot abandon our kin to such cruel fate. Yet we must be careful not to drive them to still deeper despair. Yes, we must consider the situation carefully, lest we bring destruction upon all our kind. Tell me this, are the Crushing Tide even now under Leviathan's thrall? If freed from their drowned state, might they not listen to reason? Were it only so simple, but all but a few are long since cured. They walk this path of their own free will. In that case, they may yet be dissuaded from their present course. For the sake of our nascent alliance, we will do all we can to save your brethren. Fortunately, a most capable ally stands with us, for this woman has bested many a formidable foe, including Leviathan. The great Zililazathi in the flesh, honored am I to stand in your presence. Together we will weather this storm and usher in a new age of harmony, this I swear. There's much to be done. For now, let us return to our homes and prepare as best we can for the trials ahead. Should we discover alt of value, we'll be sure to share it with you. I ask that you do the same. Indeed we shall. Until such time, I'll watch over my spawn brothers and pray that no more succumb to the chain. Welcome back. Thanks to you and Noel, I now possess a proper understanding of the challenge we face. It is a daunting task that lies before us. We'll continue to cooperate with the Sahagin to learn all we can. Once we have located the blasphemy, I will have need of your strength. Till then, I ask that you remain at the ready. Clearly, the storm clouds have only begun to gather. Level 85, Storm Clouds Brewing, complete. Level 86, The Crushing Tide. The Secretariat has recent developments to share. Your timing could not be better. The Admiral has just this moment returned from meeting with the Sahagin. I shall inform her of your arrival. I'm glad you're here. We have decided on our next course of action. You know we face two distinct but interconnected challenges. The transformations occurring among the Sahagin may be one, but blasphemy itself is the root of the problem. Thus far, those who succumbed to the change have all been affiliated with Crushing Tide, who continue to resist our diplomatic efforts. Were we to put a stop to the phenomenon, as well as address their grievances, we may yet have a chance at peace. To that end, I would propose a double-pronged approach. On one front, we shall work in tandem with our Sahagin allies to redouble our patrols. Should the blasphemy surface, we will share this knowledge and move immediately to dispatch the threat. At the same time, we will pursue a dialogue with the Crushing Tide. We need to bring them back to the negotiating table, and then see what can be done to convince them to stand down. A key point will no doubt be the lingering issue of securing land for their spawning grounds. 'Tis a discussion I intend to approach with an open mind. It will be no easy task, but we succeeded with the kobolds, and I have faith that we will succeed with the Sahagin as well, as so long as we parley in good faith. I can only hope the Crushing Tides share that sentiment. I doubt they will listen. You're wise to temper your expectations, but I would not abandon hope ere we try. At any rate, Noel has sent word that one Doe, a priest who styles himself the leader of the Crushing Tide, has grudgingly agreed to hear us out. I will parley with him face to face at the Sapsa spawning grounds and would have you at my side if you do not object, that is. Excellent. In that case, pray join me at the South Tide Gate when you are ready. From there, we will go together. Roll quest. All prepared, are you? Thou is not known for his patience. We must take care not to incur his ire. Facility would be at the spawning grounds upon our arrival, but it appears he has been delayed. Let us speak with the Sahagin here. Maybe one of them will be able to shed light on what may be keeping him. One more thing, I come here as a representative of Limza Lamenza on a diplomatic mission. Should the talks deteriorate and things come to blows, I cannot be seen to bloody my hands. I trust that you understand. With that, let us be off. Merlweb is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Merlweb behind by entering a different area or by speaking with her and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have Merlweb accompany you again, return and speak with her at the original location. What is this? Since we are filthy shore walkers free to intrude upon our sacred spawning grounds. Pray forgive our intrusion. We seek an audience with Speaker Dow. Where might we find him? You will do no such thing, shore walker. We have not forgotten what you did to Lord Leviathan. Be gone. Won't get much out of this one. Let's try elsewhere. See the other one from here out there. Like just out of draw distance. Why do you trespass in our domain, vile shore walkers? We mean you no harm. We come only for peaceful parley with your leader, Master Doe. Where might we find him? We desire no parley with the shore walkers. Who would steal our home? Were it not for your insatiable selfishness, we Sahagin would grow and flourish. The grievances are justified. That is why I would speak with Master Doe and work toward a peaceful solution. Empty words from the thieving shore walker, but so be it. Soon you shall learn the futility of your efforts. Speaker Doe is currently overseeing security at the spawning grounds. You will find him by the entrance. Though mark my words, you will wish you hadn't. We shall see. I thank you for your aid. Shore walkers in our spawning grounds, to what do I owe the displeasure? Speaker Doe, I presume our apologies for entering into your home unannounced. I am Merweb Blofiswind, Chief Admiral of Limsa Lamenza, and this is Ilizaldi. We come seeking a parley that we might strive for peace between our peoples. Parley, you say? Prolonging this conflict any further will lead only to needless suffering. The menace both our peoples face is great indeed. If ever there was a time to set aside our differences and come together for the greater good, it is now. I invite you to join us at South Tide Gate for formal negotiations. Shore walkers and Sahagin coming together, what assurance do I have that you will not slit our gills the moment we set foot within your territory? I can offer naught but my word. We open our gates to you and invite you into our home as a show of respect. I do not trust you, shore walker, but let it never be said that the Tao of the Crushing Tide was a coward. I accept your offer, but attempt any treachery or subterfuge, and your people will drown in their own blood. Very well, Master Tao. I look forward to a productive discussion. Let us return, then. I shall send word to Noel as well. I would have our Sahagin allies join us at the parley. As much time as I spent in this area. Yeah, I'm going completely the wrong direction. Huh. Thank you for joining us here, Master Doe. The air here sickens me. Be brief. Aye, let us get straight to the heart of the matter. Common threat looms before us, one more powerful than any primal, with the potential to bring death without end to both Sahagin and Lamenzin alike. These circumstances call for swift and united action. You doubt our intentions, but I remind you that we have liberated many of your kin from Leviathan's enthrallment. They and the countless other Sahagin have joined us of their own free will that we may ensure the survival of both our peoples. Aye, by their deeds have the Lamenzans proven themselves worthy of our trust. Master Doe, you and your crushing tide want only to secure a future for your people. I say to you, this can only be done by confronting this threat together. Threats? Threats? What is this threat you speak of? If it is unity you crave, then submit yourself to our command. Be as the Serpent Reavers. They are the only shore walkers I deign to call friend. You would ask us to willingly surrender ourselves to your Lord of the World? I do, for that, and that alone will ensure peace between us. Preposterous, you propose not alliance, but servitude. This way lies nothing but death for all Sahagin. Do you hear this, my spawn brothers? The shorewalkers have stolen this one's mind. He decries Lord Leviathan and espouses the lunacy of our sworn foes. These treacherous wretches have abandoned our God and conspired to drive we faithful from our ancestral home. We must not let this stand. For shame, forsaken by our spawn brothers, they side with the finless ones and blaspheme our Lord Leviathan. They who steal our spawning grounds and slaughter our children, our future, our future. Behold, behold this blessing. Lord Leviathan grants us greater and greater strength. You would call this a blessing? Such horrors, flee, flee for your lives. Beast makes for Aleport. I leave this place to you. Splendid, splendid. Let all our spawn brothers be blessed with such power. This is the second time you saved my life, Shorewalker. My gratitude is as boundless as the sea. But what of the Admiral? We must go to her aid. I was too late. I am sorry. There's no need for apologies. You are not responsible for my people's plight. But what I cannot fathom is Dal's response. How pleased he was to see his brothers become slavering beasts. The fool believes it to be a blessing from Leviathan himself. Any hope for a peaceable solution would be lost should Doa and his crushing tide manage to wield these transformations as a weapon against us. I shudder at the very thought, and yet the true threat, the blasphemy, is still out there, yes? Just so, the first ones to transform are those who have fallen into the deepest depths of despair. The more painful their anguish, the more fearsome and formidable they become in their bestial forms, and the greater their influence over others. We can scarcely hope to stand against a legion of such foes. Would that there were more my people could do to help. I will have the Maelstrom patrol the seas for the blasphemy, that we might slay it with all due haste. But this may well amount to naught. If the blasphemy too was born from a Sahagin, it could be sheltering in the depths beyond the reach of our ships. In that case, pray allow my spawn brothers and I to serve as your eyes beneath the sea. Thank you, Noel. Through our efforts combined, we might yet weather this threat. As for your brothers who gave their lives today for our cause, I shall see that they are returned home to be laid to rest as they deserve. You have my gratitude, Admiral. With that, we should return as well. There is much work to be done, and it would see it done quickly. Ooh. Just tired. Long days. Ah, Zilly, I was just sharing our findings. So you see the dangers exactly as the Sahagin described. While Dao and his ilk have no means of forcibly triggering the phenomena at present, it is plain they intend to seek one out. We double our patrols offshore and inform me of the first sign of anything out of the ordinary. Shall be done, Admiral. I worry that we may be stretching ourselves too thin. Should the situation take a turn for the worse, I will recall our forces from Garlemald, yet I would reserve that as a last resort. For now, I must get to work securing reinforcements. I ask that you remain close by. We may have need of your strength all too soon. Level 86, the Crushing Tide, complete. Level 87, old heroes never die. The Secretariat appears to have been waiting for you. Admiral left a message for you, and the news is not good. It appears that a Lamensin merchant ship was assailed by a Sahagin raiding party affiliated with the Crushing Tide. To further complicate matters, the vessel in question was carrying a shipment of crystals supplied to us by the kobolds of Ogomaro. Admiral suspects that Dao means to use the plundered crystals to summon Leviathan. She has gone to meet with Noel that we and our Sahagin allies might take swift action. We bid you join her immediately. Should the worst come to worst, your experience in combating primals may prove essential. Pray, make for South Tide Gate and rendezvous with Admiral Bluffswin at once. Ooh. Ooh. Thank you for coming. The situation is grim. The Crushing Tide plundered one of our trading ships and seized a goodly stash of Ogomaro crystals. Though their aim is clear, it appears they yet lack the quantity needed to perform the summoning. Thou longs for the days when every Sahagin cried out for Lord Leviathan's deliverance and will stop at nothing to see them return. Cannot fathom what the Crushing Tide are thinking, what satisfaction, what happiness can be found in giving over their hearts and minds to a false god. And so we must thwart their designs, lest the bonds we have forged be forever broken. By the same token, we cannot ignore the blasphemy, nor the transformations its presence may bring about. Battle on two fronts, neither of which we can commit to at an expense of the other. If we sail into the eye of the storm, I would hear your counsel. What course of action would you propose? Might we turn to the three great pirate powers for aid? Let us recruit the Yellow Jackets to the cause. Sounds like a job for the company of heroes. As it happens, I've already enlisted the Executioners, the Krakens, and the Sirens to the cause. They've done much to bolster the Maelstrom's efforts to scour the seas for the blasphemy. If we're to seek reinforcements, we will have to turn elsewhere, but to whom? This recruit sounds like a job for the company of heroes. Company of Heroes. Now that's a name I've not heard in some time. True that they answered the call many a time. Indeed, other than you and yours, there are arguably none better suited to the task of primal slaying. They disbanded over 5 years ago, and neither hide nor hair has been seen of their commander since. Absent their leader, I suspect they will be reluctant to join our cause. And yet I can think of no better option. I'll contact Westcat, their erstwhile commander's right-hand man, and see if he will not hear us out. I'll ask him to meet us at the Drowning Winch. Let us hope he is receptive to our offer. No, might I trust you and your brothers to continue the search for the blasphemy in the meantime? But of course, Admiral, should we discuss anything, you will be the first to know. The Drowning Winch. Can't stop yawning. My apologies for the delay. You are alone, so your plea fell on deaf ears. And here I swore 5 years ago that I was done playing hero. Could someone explain what this is all about? Believe it or not, I am a respectable man with respectable obligations these days. Take that polearm out of your arse, old friend, and stop pretending you're not still a murderous bastard at heart. Watch that wicked tongue of yours, Uode, lest I skewer it and prove you right. Nothing like a reunion with dear companions over a bottle of the Winch's finest vintage. That is why we're here, right? Ooh, shock. Long time no eye catch, Uplanders. Brayflox is tummy tickled to see Gobby friends again. Thank you for assembling on such short notice. Spare us the pleasantries, Admiral. Why are we here? I make a simple request. Reform the company of heroes and lend Limsa Mensa your strength. You've a reason. I'm sure I would hear it. So there you have it. A terrible fiend known as a blasphemy prowls our seas, transforming the Sahagin into ravening beast. At the same time, the Sahagin themselves, specifically a hostile faction calling themselves the Crushing Tide, had declared their intention to summon Leviathan anew. Should they succeed, we would be hard-pressed to deal with the Primal while still dealing with the other threats. Right pickle indeed. The answer is no. The commander disbanded the company, and as his first mate, it's not my place to gainsay his final order. Thought that, I say. Have you forgotten our company's creed? The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. Are the people now in danger not the same men and women we fought to defend years ago? The commander would not have turned his back on them, and neither should we. Old words, Landonel, but do you truly believe that we can honor them as we are? Old mercenaries past their prime, lacking the commander whose wisdom and prowess saw them to glory once upon a time. Ah yes, your commander. What if Zilly here were to lead you in his stead? Surely you would not question her abilities. Ah, an intriguing proposition. I, for one, would not be averse to serving under such a decorated hero. Gobby friend has goodly head for fighty think and goodly arms for thinky fight. As ringing an endorsement as any, but I would hear it from the woman herself. Do you believe you're capably leading the company of heroes into battle? You guys like fought old tight ages ago. If you've the stones to follow me, better battle than a banquet. Still nursing that grudge, are we? I suppose we still owe you a dozen favors. If you're willing to lead, we'll follow. 5 years to the day, truth be told. I was enjoying the more leisurely life, but when duty calls... Hey, before we proceed, I must ask, have we no way of reaching out to the commander? Forgotten how he took his leave, have we? Up and vanishing so we could each find our own way apart from him and the company. I doubt we'll see him again, much as I wish we could. To the matter at hand, the missions you will undertake. First, you are to aid us tracking down the blasphemy that roams the sea. Second, you must prevent the crushing tide from summoning Leviathan at all costs. Oh, is that all? And there I thought we might get our feet wet with real challenge, eh? But in all seriousness, we should take care to decide who attends to what. Sounds like a job for acting commander. I'm sure she'll give it all her due consideration. So if I understand this correctly, we're to bring down this so-called blasphemy. Of course, to do that, we'll need to find the damn thing first. We've also got to prevent the crushing tide from summoning their god Leviathan, a tall order in and of itself. Acting commander, it's your job to decide who'll be doing what, based on the skills we each have to offer. I recommend that you start by having a chat with each of us, that you might develop a sense of the strengths and weaknesses, mostly strengths of course, of the storied veterans under your command. My specialty, you ask? Why, impaling fiends with this lance of mine, of course. The stronger the foe, the better. None are a match for me. It'd be folly to waste my talents on dealing with those slippery fishmen. Set me against that so-called blasphemy, and I'll have the things on a skewer before you can say Merwib Blovis and pursue and slaying the blasphemy. Preventing the... Yeah, if he's good at just... Wise choice. Send Landonell after the Sahagin, and he's like to help them summon Leviathan to sate his bloodlust. Have to get a certain number of them right. I will speak plain. I am not some battle-crazed barbarian like Landonell, as none of the a tribe of peerless hunters. I conduct my affairs with discipline and prudence. Such I know better than any that to rush headlong into battle is really the best course of action. Far wiser it is to observe from afar and proceed with caution. Preventing the primal summoning. Very astute, if I do say so myself. There are a few better suited to the task of averting needless bloodshed than the famously circumspect Uo known. You well know my vision is somewhat lacking these days. I can still defend myself when necessary, but I'd rather it not come to that. My condition also leaves me rather unsuited to scouting and searching. It wasn't always the case, but such is life. On the other hand, I'd like to think I've gotten quite good at sounding out the intentions of others during negotiations and the like. Prevent the primal summoning. A keen sense for these things, I see. More so than reconnaissance or battle, Shamani has a knack for working behind the scenes to see the company's goals achieved. Greyflock's master remaker of Illuminati treasures offers much hand-lending with ingenuity. Far-seeing spyglass sees far into ocean deep. Crackfires go boom and blast beast into bitty pieces. Playing the blasphemy. Logical choice, if I do say so myself. Greyflock's mastery of tools and armaments is sure to avail you in tracking and felling that beast. It seems everyone has their assignments. I dare say the choices you made are nigh impeccable. If I didn't know better, I'd think you'd been leading us for years. With that, it is time we got to work. I have procured link pearls for one and all, and we can keep each other apprised of our progress. You may pick them up from Maelstrom Command. We'd best be off then. Should we have need to regroup or reconsider our strategy, call for us. Getting the band back together. I will return to command and share these developments here with Secretariat and our Sahagin friends. Do join me if you can, Commander Zilli. I get a promotion? Was I already a commander? I'm a captain. Higher, usually. Zilly, the Admiral has apprised me of the situation in full. Colonel Zilly with a link pearl, yes? Of course, Admiral. It would seem the company is trying to reach us. Oh there, Commander, just give the word and I'll come running. Lower your goddamn voice, will you? Watch your tongue, I'll track you down and rip yours out. Sound more like mortal enemies than old companions. That's where Zilly comes in. I'm trusting you to whip them back into shape. Make them a force to be reckoned with. We'll have the Secretariat contact you if any developments. I wish to convey them to the entire company by link pearl, but we cannot afford to anyone taking reckless action. Meantime, I will reach out to Noel and see what he has gleaned about the crushing tide and their hideout. Let's hope for good tidings, Commander. Level 87, old heroes never die. Level 88, Mother's Suffering. Secretariat has urgent news for you. Grave news, Zilly, we've just received word that Candlekeep Key is under attack. It seems the crushing tide has struck again. The Admiral asks that you deploy the company of heroes at once. Our man here will act as your signaler. Company of heroes is awaiting your orders. Candlekeep Key. Both Landonel and Udnun should be close by. What are your instructions? Landonel is a hot-headed warrior who lives for the thrill of battle, while Udnun is a calm and calculating hunter. Both can serve you well, but better if assigned a task suited to their skills. Drive the crushing tide away. See the residents of Candlekeep Key to safety. Drive the crushing tide away. Consider it done, Commander. We order Udnun to do. See the residents of Candlekeep Key to safety. Understood. The rest of us will head there at once. I'll tell the Admiral you and the company of heroes are on your way. Godspeed. Orby. We should really start doing some Island Sanctuary. All we've done so far is unlock it. Worry not, the tide has already ebbed, if you follow my meaning. Perhaps you're curious how your men carried out your orders. You'll be pleased to hear that Landonel led the attack with his characteristic aplomb, dancing amongst his foes with such speed and ferocity that were dizzying to watch. Udnun made full use of his talents in leading the rescue effort. Not a single man, woman, or child suffered so much as a scratch. I had my doubts at first, but you've passed your first trial as acting captain with flying colors. Battle is over, I see. 'Tis good to see the company of heroes can still live up to its name. I demand answers. Why did you target Candlekeep Key? I spit on your questions, filthy shorewalker. Was hoping we might do this the easy way, but if you insist. You would torture us? You shorewalkers are all the same. Savage brutes, the lot of you. Torture, please. We are not so uncivilized as that, my slippery friend. Greyflox's shiny treasure will have fishmen trading tongue flaps in no time. Let me explain. Shimani Lomani and Brayflox are well practiced in the art of interrogation. Shimani has a sharp mind, as I'm sure you've noticed, and a knack for getting information out of uncooperative types with minimum of fuss. Brayflox, on the other hand, her methods can be unconventional, to say the least, but it's hard to argue with the results. Well, Commander, the choice is yours to make. Shimani Lomani is my man. Brayflox, I choose you. But of course, Commander, watch as I get him talking without so much as lifting a finger. We're trying to reach a peaceable solution, right? They tell me you're kind of particularly fond of Lanashan oranges. Might I interest you in a glass of delightful orange wine brewed from our latest harvest? This is another glass, Shorewalker. I demand it in return for the crimes you have committed against my spawn brothers. Mere glass, my friend? Why, I'd be more than happy to offer you a full bottle, nay, an entire cask, if you provide us with the answers we seek. We have a deal, Shorewalker. For a cask of that blissful beverage, I will tell you all my secrets. Again, I ask, why did you target Candlekeep Key? Dao himself gave the order, said we must establish a foothold in preparation for our assault on the city. You mean to attack Limsa Lamenza itself? But with your numbers, that would be folly. Speaker Dao commands power beyond the comprehension of you Shorewalkers. We have dealt with the Leviathan before. Misunderstand, Speaker Dao says it is a greater power still, the very first being blessed by our Lord. The blasphemy. Tell me where Dao is. An island far to the south and east. There he performs the rite that will summon forth the Divine One and deliver my brothers and I to glory. Thank you for your cooperation. I suspect that Dao is hiding out somewhere in the Ciel d'Elise, a deserted isle, most likely. I don't know much about these so-called blasphemies, but can they truly be tamed so easily? We have no evidence they can, but we must operate under the assumption that Dao has found a way. We'll ready a ship. We set sail for the Ciel d'Elise at once. Prepare yourselves and meet me at the docks as soon as you are ready. I'll have Shimani and Brayflox continue the interrogation in the meantime. Our friends here might still be hiding something from us. And, Everyone is here. Good. We make for the CLDs in a search of Doe's hideout. Our friend Noah will be waiting for us there. Blasphemy 2 may be present. Be vigilant and keep your weapons at the ready. Well, Commander, do you have any words for your men on the eve of battle? Duty of the strong. All for one. I can't say I've heard that motto before. Nor I. At any rate, let's be about it. We meet again, Dao. Where's the blasphemy? Tell us now so we may end this madness. Hey. Oh, look how cute. Speak of the bloody devil. There it is, the dread beast I saw beneath the waves. the source of our woes. The echo of all the times. Defend the commander. Or is it the former queen? I bring grave tidings, my queen. The wretched shore walkers poison the minds of my spawn brothers with false words and foul magics. Our poor beguiled brethren renounce Lord Leviathan and name him a false god. They treat with Limzilla Minza, and some even call for an alliance. We must summon him, that the lost might receive of his blessing anew. This I would gladly do had our stock of crystals not run dry. Spawning time is nearly upon us, yet you fight and bicker amongst yourselves. How am I to birth a new brood when my children grown stand divided? Who dares enter the sacred chamber? Forgive my intrusion, Queen Mother. I speak for the Sahagin who seek an accord with the shore walkers. New age is upon us. We needn't turn to false gods, nor foment bitterness and bloodshed in our precious spawning grounds. Shore walkers have changed. They endeavor to understand us, to share these lands with us. They may have peace, and we are spawning grounds. Could this be true? Ah, his lies. Do not be deceived by that one's delusions, my queen. He is a heathen who has strayed from Lord Leviathan's light. Shorewalkers are oath breakers now and forevermore. As they extend one hand in friendship, they clutch a dagger in the other. We are beasts in their eyes, deserving of naught but slaughter. Oh, for a blessed moment I felt the faintest touch of hope. But you are right, Dao. They are demons and we are damned. Oh, for woe. My poor children have lost their faith, their minds poisoned by lies. They turn away from the Lord of the world and cast their lot with the enemy. 'Tis so, my queen, 'tis so. We will have no choice but to abandon our sacred spawning grounds and sink to the ocean's floor to rot and decay. Thou, dearest of my children, you tell them that we have no future? How can I bring new life into this world knowing that my brood will have their hearts stolen and abandon me? How can I bear this unbearable sadness? I cannot. What's happening? Please, my queen, you must calm yourself. Such power, such beauty, a blessing from Lord Leviathan himself. So this is a blasphemy, eh? I can see what all the fuss was about. Have your wits about you? Good. If you can fight, now is the time. Strike now, my queen. Send the shore walkers and their honorless leader to her death. What's happening? I can't feel my legs. Why, mother? Are we not your children too? Damn it, we cannot weather another blow like the last. Still don't know what in the seven hells just happened, but I'll be damned if I'm going to go down without a fight. Steady, the beast is feeding on our ether. We will not survive a head-on fight. And now, Udo, remember the company's stratagem when faced with overwhelming odds. Retreat, retreat, let's get ourselves the bloody hells out of here. The commander, probably. Damn it all, we'd have better luck holding back the tide. How it goes, friends, is what I would normally ask, but judging from the muttered cursing, I gather it did not go all that well. We barely escaped with our lives. To think the damn beast had the power to stop us in our tracks, literally. Do we know of the creature's origins? Was it once a Sahagin, as you suspected? Mayhap the echo afforded Zilly some insight. The owl's villainy knows no bounds, sowing seeds of despair in our queen mother's heart that she might transform into that monstrosity. He was the first to turn, and there was nothing deliberate about it. Still, it's clear that his word served as a catalyst. If we kill the blasphemy, it'll be tantamount to killing the Sahagin's queen. That's not going to endear us to them one bit. I cannot turn my spear against the mother who birthed me, let alone take her life. Out of curiosity, did anyone see who fired that shot? Were it not for them, we'd all be dead. I know not, but we must formulate a plan, and quickly. My scouts tell me that the blasphemy has left the island and now roams the open sea. We'll order them to continue the search. In the meantime, we must find a means to overcome the beast's formidable offense. Leave that to us. Time and again, we've used our wits and experience to triumph over the longest odds. Defeat your enemy first. You must know your enemy. Tell me, Commander, what do you reckon was the most valuable knowledge we gleaned from our initial encounter? That the blasphemy is the Sagan Queen transformed. That the blasphemy has the power to absorb ether. I concur. Now that we know how the beast disables its foes, we can use this knowledge to devise a proper defense against it. But that is not all we have learned. While the blasphemy can maneuver through the water, it also frequents caves and the like. Our best chance of defeating it would be in such a place. Our only chance, I dare say. I will send scouts to identify any and all large caverns and coastal areas that could serve as shelter for a massive creature. To ensure the safety of our people and have any hope of peace for the Sahagin, this is a battle we must win. All your strength and wisdom will be needed in the days to come. Dismissed. Come, let us share our findings with the Maelstrom. Now that we have seen what the blasphemy is capable of ourselves, 'tis more plain to me than ever that it must be slain. Reach out to all trade ships entering and departing Limsa. Inform them that any sightings of the blasphemy are to be reported to Maelstrom Command at once. Understood, but given the beast's abilities, how do you intend to overcome it? Trusted the company of heroes and zilly experienced primal slayers all will find a way. And yet I would leave no resource untapped. There is one more whose expertise I would call upon if he would agree. Even Whiskate is at a loss as to his former commander's whereabouts, but mayhap Einzar could offer us some guidance. No doubt you are still fatigued from the battle with the blasphemy. Pray rest while you are able. If we are ready to take further action, you will hear from me. Till then, take care. 88, A Mother's Suffering, complete. Level 89, Out of the Shadows. The Secretariat's resigned expression speaks volumes. Ah, Zilly, I wish I had better news for you, but the blasphemy continues to elude us. Can you hear me, Commander? This is Whiskat. I have an idea of how we might take down the blasphemy. Meet me in Costa del Sol as soon as you are able. Well, that sounds promising. I'll tell Admiral you'll be away for a bit. Godspeed and stay safe out there. Apologies for having you come all this way. Ever since our encounter with the blasphemy, I've been racking my brain to find a way of dealing with its debilitating attack. Sadly, I've come up empty-handed, and my companions fare no better. That's when I started thinking, if only our finest was still with us. He always had a knack for noticing what the rest of us missed. His eyes were so sharp, he could spot a foe's weakness with a single glance. Thanks to him that we were able to slay both Leviathan and Titan and live to tell the tale. Rub is, well, he's a bit eccentric, and yes, I know you could say that about all the company members. Unlike us, he prefers to work from the shadows. Truth be told, I've not seen him since the day we disbanded. Doubt he'd help his old comrades even if we asked, but an order from the company's acting commander would be a different story. Our heyday, we had a way of reaching him, whistle at the forked road, and sooner or later he'd show himself. Didn't matter when, winter or summer, in broad sunlight or the dead of night, he'd always be watching from afar. With any luck, he still is now. I've rambled on enough. Go on now. This may be our best and only hope. Here I was enjoying my retirement. Why'd you have to go and bloody whistle? Call me Lawrence. I'm the company's resident sharpshooter. At least I was in my day. No need to tell me who you are. I've been watching you for quite some time. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm just curious how my former mates are faring. Not as curious as folks were about me, though. First Westgate, then old Mistbeard himself. Ha! As if those codgers could ever catch me. Now Eorzea's storied hero summons me forth. No need to say why. You're going to ask me to help you take down the blasphemy. I'm not asking you, I'm ordering you. Have you forgotten the duty of the strong? Ah, you drive a hard bargain. I like that. Who am I to refuse an order from the company's acting commander? Tell me, acting commander, what specific duty would you task me with? I trust you do have a plan. So you need a way to neutralize the beast's most potent attack. I can tell you like getting up close and personal with your foes, so you'll be needing support from a distance. Who do you suppose might be best suited to that role? Her whip and her twin muskets can handle the job. You, of course. Damn right, my eyes are among the keenest in the realm, and you've doubtless heard from Westcat. Pure marksmanship, none in limbs are at the Admiral's equal. Yet Merweb is ill-suited for a supporting role, not for lack of skill, of course, but rather, come to think of it, there's something you should know. Follow me. Is he up top? Quite the view, wouldn't you say? I often come here to admire the sea. If you would indulge me for a moment and I'll spin you a yarn, just try not to doze off. Back in piracy's golden age, a league of lost bastards ruled the Rotano. I was one of them, as was Merweb. We were led by none other than her old man, Blofuscene, most feared captain on the high seas. Feared by his enemies, that is, stern and unforgiving though he was, he took me under his wing and showed me the ropes. Ah, he was like a father to me, to us all, till that fateful day. It was in the year 1562 of the Sixth Astral Era. Lemenzen merchantmen were struggling with nigh constant raids by the Sahag. Around this time, Blofus had yielded the day-to-day leadership of the bastards to Merweb, his pride and joy. She was still growing into the role, though, and everyone knew the old captain was still calling the shots. Old Blofus had a noble streak, he did, ordered us to defend the traders from the fishbacks. Merweb led the effort, and we fought day after day to keep the seas safe. Fighting was fierce, but we always came out of it in one piece until we didn't. Till after a skirmish, a Sahagan survivor with his last breath summoned forth the Lord of the World. Great Beast toppled our mast and cracked the keel like an egg. We clambered aboard the merchantmen as our own ship sank, naught to do but wait for the end. But then comes Blofus and his bleeding flotilla out of nowhere to pull us out of the fire, and he did. The League of Lost Bastards would never be the same again, for even though we escaped with our lives, we soon discovered that Captain Blofus, our iron-willed, unwavering leader, had fallen under Leviathan's thrall. Of course, in those days, we didn't know much about drowning or tempering, didn't know what to make of our captain as he grew more haggard by the day, his words devolving into crazed rambling. Then one day he vanished, as taken off with half of our men. Not long after, a band of pirates calling themselves the Serpent Reavers began taking prizes in the Indigo Deep alongside the Sahagan. At their helm was none other than Captain Blofus, who had cast his lot with the fishbacks. Merwood knew what had to be done, and to her credit, she didn't shirk from the deed. She acted quickly, sneaking off under cover at night with the skeleton crew without so much as telling me. Of course, that didn't stop me from stowing myself in the cargo hold and joining her on the voyage. She was none too happy to see me at first, wanted to leave me out of it, she said, but seeing as I made myself known when she was struggling to fend off a horde of reavers and fishbacks, it wasn't hard to win her over. Her twin muskets fell in one after the next. As my sharp shooting kept her safe from afar, we cut a path at the center of the isle. It was there we found Blofus, or rather the miserable wretch he'd been reduced to, all bones with skin shriveled to a tangled mat of white hair, eyes bulging from his head like a fish as he prayed to the Lord of the World. Merweb challenged him to a duel, and a dim memory must have flickered in his drowned mind, for he accepted, and so with only me there to witness it, Merweb ended her father's life. League of Lost Bastards would have lived up to its name if it weren't for Merweb. She assumed full command and restored us to our former glory. Not long after, she triumphed in the Trident and was named Chief Admiral of Lemons. I often think back upon that day, seeing her charge into battle, muskets blazing, might seem reckless to some, but that's how Captain Blofus taught her, and she knows no other way. That's why I made it my job to support her from the shadows, and it's a role in which I'll happily serve again. I owe that much to her, old man. My only doubt was whether you, my friend, were worthy of commanding me, but watching you from afar has answered that question. I tell Westcat and the rest of my no-good companions that Lauren stands with him. Yay. Good friend. Did Lauren show himself? Ah, now there's a surprise. I had some hope your words might reach him, but never did I imagine he would agree so readily. Just one thing, Zilly, I'd appreciate if you did mention Lawrence's involvement to the company, Landon L in particular. They'll find out soon enough regardless. At any rate, this gives us new hope in our battle against the blasphemy. All that remains is to set the snare and lure the beast into our clutches. The scouts are on the lookout for the creature as we speak. If the latest reports are to be believed, we are drawing ever closer. With that, I'd best get back to it. Can I trust you to report these latest developments to the Maelstrom? Then, until we meet again, Commander. All right. The search for the blasphemy continues, though I understand you've been carrying out an entirely different investigation. A marksman by the name of Lawrence, eh? The Admiral will be pleased. Of course, we won't have much call for his skills until the blasphemy is found. Rest well and prepare yourself as necessary in the meantime. Lawrence, why does that ring a bell? 89, Out of the Shadows, complete. Level 90, to calmer seas. The Secretariat appears visibly dismayed. Despite our best efforts, the blasphemy continues to elude us. For the time being, Sorry to interrupt, but I have an incoming communication from Westcat. Commander, we've snared ourselves a blasphemy. We've our erstwhile companion Riol to thank. Knowing that the creature was once a Sahagan queen, he kept a close eye on the spawning grounds. Sure enough, he spied a massive black shadow moving beneath the water not long ago. After receiving word, Shamani Lamani directed the Maelstrom warships in the vicinity to herd the beast with cannon fire into the Sestasha Sea Grot. Isolated as the Sea Grot is, we can engage our foe without putting small folk at risk. Any words for your men, Commander? Company of heroes, assemble! The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. You don't have to tell me twice. I've been aching for a rematch. Rush in blindly and it will go as poorly for you as it did the first time. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll show up just in time to see me deal the killing blow. Now, can we not save our vitriol for the quarry, which I've lured to the perfect spot that is now waiting patiently for all of you to put it out of its misery? Greyflox's gobby booms blast over big blasphemy into bitty pieces. Motley crew you'll never find, but will serve you well when the battle is joined, believe you me. This is Merwib. I will ready a warship at once. Assemble outside the winch once you've all seen to your preparations. The time has come. I shall pray for your victory. Ooh, kill this thing. Duty call. Zilly, the others should be along soon. Duty calls. Commence battle for calmer seas. Level sync is in effect. If you are above the maximum allowed level, will be synced as follows. Level 90, item level 550, proceed. Pay attention to what's going on. Alright. Blasphemy is still contained within the Sestasha Sea Grot. There it will meet its end, navigator willing. Would that my brothers and I could join you in the fight, and yet blasphemous though it may be, that beast was once our mother. Understand all, forgive us for what we must do. If there means to reverse the transformation, we would do all in our power to bring your mother back. Sadly, there is nothing left of her to save. For the future of the Sahagin and Limsa Lominsa alike, the blasphemy must be laid to rest, and when the deed is done, I would bring your brothers, even the crushing tide, aboard the great ship we call Vilbrand. I do not want to slay your mother, but this thing she has become, a mindless beast who would enslave and kill her own, is an affront to the memory of who she was. It is not her, it is not. Remember this always, you must. I will not ask you to shoulder the burden of matricide. If the time comes to strike the final blow, I will do the deed. Admiral, all you say is true, and yet... Commander, I've sighted a group of fishbacks, crushing tide most like, heading straight for the sea grot. You'd best make your way here, and fast. Time to move out, then. Any words for your men before we set sail? Don't go dying on me out there. Today the blasphemy falls. Today the blasphemy falls. Grown into this role quite well, haven't you? Enough talk, it's time to show the realm that the company of heroes hasn't lost a step. Aye. Stand a better chance of slipping past the crushing tide if we split up. Dilly and I will go together while the rest of you take a different route. Let us brook no further delay. To Sastasha. Where it all began, Sastasha. My queen, I beg of you, pray show your loyal son mercy. Oh, is she gonna kill him too? Yep. Well, that's one less obstacle to peace. Last for me, the Indigo Beast. It's Tao, or what's left of him. Speaker Tao, why would our queen do such a thing? It is that the shorewalkers say, what we thought a blessing is in truth a terrible curse. The horror we must away at once. Leave the shorewalkers to face our queen mother alone? No, I will stand with them. You mustn't sully your hands with the blood of your mother. Go and be with your kin. Go. Forgive me. But she had to kill her dad, right? I was beginning to think you wandered off a cliff, Lorenz. Must you say it like that? I prefer to think of myself as fashionably late. But enough talk, it comes. Alright, let's do this. Here it comes. We're counting on you, Lorenz. Not letting me do anything. I know enemy's weakness escapes my eyes. I like targets. Ah, there we go. Roar. See how easy that was? I reckon you can do it too, Acting Commander. Oh, we're gonna get to kill stuff now. Oh, we gotta take these out. We have to hit them on like the... Okay, yeah, on like the target. Like directional. Okay. No more. Okay, now we can attack it. That did some damage. How do you heal me? Ads. You can like dive bomb us or something. Yes. Oh. Assuming we're supposed to kill the ads too, right?
You're in my sights.
And Merle Web. Annihilation flare. Okay, set some multiple ones up. Okay. Levelant. Orbinaire either. Okay, so we have to kill these things. Well, I'm not doing much damage to him. Okay. So he's supposed to defend us, so we got to get in a circle. Yeah, because we're not doing anything. Where are we supposed to go? I can't kill them all in that amount of time. Okay, it's supposed to do something to us. That's enough ether to go blasting this entire island. We better work fast. We stand with you. Oh, the Hagen allies are coming. Okay. As we do we for the future of the Indigo Deep. Okay. Alright, so it's storyline related. I was like, that thing almost killed me.
The winds favor us.
DPS check. I don't know if we can get enough in there in time.
I will not yield.
Unio. Oh, I'm at like 5%. Okay, we got this. Yay! Was that it? Didn't say duty complete. Did it and I just missed it. Oh, she's gonna do the killing blow, right? Or is he gonna jump in and do it? I will not ask for your forgiveness, but this I promise, you will be remembered for the mother you were. Admiral, I have no words. Our queen mother returns to the depths in eternal slumber. With your strength, you could have crushed us easily. Why did you spare our lives? Beast and blasphemies are born from the despair in our hearts, but no more. I would break the cycle. Though Tao may have been blind to it, I believe in a future where Sahagin and Laminzen live in harmony. Even after losing who she was, your queen made your spawning grounds, and it is there she drew her last breath. When your next queen is crowned, know that she will have a safe place to raise her young. Once you have selected a suitable location, Limza Laminza will recognize and honor your claim. Promise for which we are grateful, Admiral, but what of the other peoples of Vilbrand? The kobolds are open to the idea. The details will need to be negotiated, but I am confident we can reach an agreement. Hagen, Kobold, and Laminzen alike yearn to abide in peace. We can make it so. I have never fought alongside shorewalkers before, but I must say it felt good. We have fought our neighbors for generations. It has won us only suffering and tragedy. I beg of you, lay down your spears. It will take time and effort to bridge the gulf between our peoples, but bridge it we shall. Trying to sneak off. I dare say we have a lot of talking to do as well, don't we, Commander Lorenz? He was the commander. Ah, Landonell, if you just allow me to explain. Let's be off before they drag us into this mess. Perfect timing, Acting Commander. You must have saved me from this bloodthirsty bastard. Well, Lorenz, let's hear your excuse, and it had better be a good one. Why in the seven hells were you skulking about in the shadows while we did all the dirty work? Huh, like you lot would be any happier if I showed myself sooner. I can hear your whinging now. What, you didn't think we could handle this on our own? I'd be bloody furious regardless. Don't think I've forgotten what happened, or rather didn't happen, on the day of our duel. Even though the future of the company hung in the balance, I waited and waited and waited some goddamn more, and still you never turned up. But I've got you now, and I will have satisfaction. Given Lorenz's penchant for late arrivals, I couldn't help but worry too. To say if he cut it fine would be an understatement. And not by choice as usual. My scouts observed him roaming near Costa del Sol not long ago. It would seem our commander's woeful sense of direction has not improved in the least. I'm honestly surprised you never realized, Landonell, that was to blame for his extreme tardiness, that the commander did indeed arrive at the agreed upon location for your duel after the sun had risen and set half a dozen times. Navigator, take me. Shimano, you promised that would stay between the two of us. Brayflox, you have a kind word or two for your old commander, don't you? Commander Lawrence, Commander no more. New commander, friend to Gobbies everywhere. Does many sweat works for Gobby kind. She's great. Yeah, and there I thought you were too much of a coward to face me in battle. Come now, Landonell, you know me better than... Then it's settled. We fight here and now. On your guard. Put that thing down, I say. You could hurt someone with that. Hard to believe he was once the glue that held this merry band together. That's right, if you hadn't yet realized the obvious, Lawrence is our former commander. Forgive me for not stating it plainly sooner. I didn't want you to think we doubted your leadership. He's got his quirks, but as you saw, he's a force of nature on the battlefield. Anyhow, I think we can all say your stint as acting commander has been a rousing success. Now I reckon it's about time you gave your final order. Company of Heroes, band break once more. Brayflox never liked parting with Gobby friends. Here, I may have my complaints, but when we're together, a good fight's never far away. You hardly need a company or commander to get you to that. And should Limsa again be imperiled, there's nothing stopping us from rising to the occasion. Till then, you're all strong enough in your own right. Why not serve the weak in your own ways? Okay, so I got to talk with all of them now. You've had quite the turn of duty, but all good things must come to an end. Any parting words before we go our separate ways? Let the company of heroes be disbanded. Give Gegaruju my best regards. Yeah, finally I can enjoy some semblance of peace again, at least as much as peace as a man can enjoy waiting hand and foot on the Lord of Costa del Sol. May have been rough sailing at times, but I rather enjoyed serving under you, acting commander. Well, if you've something to say, let's hear it. Let the companies of heroes be disbanded. Return to the whalers and keep the murdering to a minimum. As if I needed you to tell me. While I enjoyed the diversion, I know as well as any that my true place is in Gridania leading a respectable life. May not have been the perfect commander, but 12 as my witness. I hope to fight by your side again. Farewell. I wait your orders, Commander. The company of heroes be disbanded. Look after the brave nuns. I have responsibilities, a tribe that wants for my guidance and protection. I can ill afford to tarry here much longer. Nevertheless, it is with some regret that I take my leave, for all their faults, of which they have many, and they are my companions, and I will miss them. Well, let's hear it, Commander. The company of heroes be disbanded. You owe me a bottle of your finest box. Indeed, indeed. I mean to return to Wineport as soon as I've tied up a few final loose ends here. Speaking of wine, I've always preferred the older vintages, left to sleep in their barrels for many a summer. They come out tasting better than ever. One might say the same about our own company. Greyflox wants busy work. Greyflox awaits Uplander's lip flaps. The company of heroes be disbanded. No more cheese wars, please. Greyflox feels heavy heart, but accepts Uplander's bossy words. Greyflox had good times and happy feels with gobby friends, but good times will come again, and when they do, new boomsticks will bring blasty doom with much fastness. On that note, I ought to be on my way. Slipping away again, are we? You are a creature of habit. I resented you for it at the time, you know, but I think I understand now. Better to shun fame and not serve as an example for glory seekers too eager to fight and too quick to die. You're overthinking it. I'm a creature of whimsy, a man who lets the tailwind carry him where it will. More importantly, this new age belongs to the new blood. I've had my day in the sun. If you succeed in brokering peace with the Beastmen, there'll be no need to worry about primals, and the company can go into permanent retirement. Then I can say I did right by the old man. If you hadn't been there for us both, I don't know if I could have pulled the trigger. Thank you, Lorenz, brother. I did nothing, and it was you who shouldered Captain Blofus's burden, and that of the entire League. I'm sorry, Merwib, I know it hasn't been easy for you. I dare say you've worked hard enough. Maybe us company folk aren't the only ones in need of a retirement. But I've said too much. Loren's holding his tongue. Gods, you have changed. But yes, my greatest test as Admiral still lies ahead as we steer the great ship Vilbrand towards a new future. Yeah, you truly are your father's daughter. Owe you my thanks too. Dare say you did almost as good a job keeping my men to task as I could have. Call it a hunch, but something tells me our paths may cross again. But forgive me if I carry on like I've never seen you before. I'm not unlike my old friend Mistbeard. I prefer to keep my past in the past. With that, I'm off. Take care of yourselves. Blasphemy is no more, but we will never know lasting peace until the crushing tide agrees to lay down their arms. It will be a daunting task, but as we saw in Sestasha, they are not beyond reason. I will do all in my power to see that your efforts and the sacrifices of my brothers were not in vain. Forgive us, even after being freed from false gods' thrall, we clung to our hateful beliefs. It was easier to hearken to Speaker Dow's every word and turn a blind eye to the harsh truth, easier and cowardly. I will return and speak with my brothers at the Crushing Tide. I will tell them of our Queen Mother's sacrifice and the vision of hope you have shared with us. I ask only that you give us time and trust us to make our own decision. You have my word, but if you would not be averse, let us return to the spawning grounds together. Adventurer, I have no words to express my gratitude to you. I will repay you the only way I know how, by doing my part to usher in an age where Shorewalker and Sahagin stand as one. Just us now, it would seem. Ever since we achieved a measure of peace with the kobolds, I prayed that this day would come. Though it is, of course, only a beginning, negotiations must be held, and words exchanged in earnest will invariably lead to flared tempers and bruised egos, but such things always accompany meaningful progress. The history of Vilbrand is one of bloodshed, but we have the power to change our ways. After all, it is clear we are united more by our similarities than we are divided by our differences. I will share what I have seen of the Sahagin with my fellow Lemenzans and listen closely to their doubts and concerns. For it must be a harmony not foisted upon them from above, but one which they aspire to of their own free will. No doubt Noel and his brothers feel the same. Again, you have come to Limsa's aid, my aid, at a time we needed it most. And when we next meet, I hope 'twill not be as admiral and adventurer, but as friends, mayhap trading war stories over ales at the Winch. But for now, I must return to my duties. Drafting reports and decrees is hardly the most exciting part of my role, but it is a necessary one. If you happen to pass through Radz-at-Han, pray share your exploits with our delegate there. Doubtless he will be interested to hear your first-hand account. One day I will lay down these muskets of mine for good, but not yet, Father, not yet. Radz-at-Han! Right. Turn this in. You return. Pray tell, what news from my homeland? Extraordinary, and a chance at peace with the Sahagin? These are heartening tidings indeed. Without a doubt, you have helped to dispel the pall of despair that once hung over all Vilbrand. Our people now bask in newfound hope. I must share the news with the others. Full glad will they be to hear that the threat to Limsa Lamenza is no more. Thank you again, my friend. Level 90 to calmer seas. Complete. You can now dye the job-specific gear for level 90 melee DPS. Achievement unlocked. More than loss.